Hello, my name is Anna Cook. I am an orchestra director in the Shawnee Mission School District in Kansas City. This is my intro video for AEP 800. A little bit about me. This is my 5th year teaching. I graduated in 2013 from Bethel College with music education and cello performance, BA, and my first job was in Wilson, Kansas, which if you know Kansas, you might not even know about Wilson. It's a tiny 1A school. I got to teach pre-K through 12, general music, choir, band, and I started the orchestra program out there. I got to see every kid every day. Technology was always present, and I loved it. It was a great job. I am currently starting my 3rd year in the Shawnee Mission School District. I worked for 2 years as an elementary strings teacher, grades 5 and 6, and also at the high school at Shawnee Mission North, grades 9 through 12. I got reassigned this year, so I am doing the high school, 9 through 12, as well as 7 and 8 middle school. So that'll be an adventure. My demographics that I have been present in, both Wilson and the Shawnee Mission school that I am in, are Title I schools, which means they're free and reduced lunch. I get a lot of support from my principals and from my school because we provide so much for our kids. We've had wonderful access to MacBooks, iPads, and Apple TVs. Grades 6 through 12 all have 1-to-1 ratio with MacBooks. The staff is constantly trained in Google Classroom, and we have an incredibly diverse population. I hear different languages in my hallways. It's wonderful to go and see such a diverse group of kids, and I had that as well in Wilson. Positive impacts of technology. Well, I teach orchestra, and so it's a little bit limited, but you can still see the positive impacts that technology has across the board. Rural or urban, location never limited my students. In Wilson, we could literally be sitting next to a cornfield, and the kids were completely engulfed in their assignments, and they loved researching topics and never felt like they couldn't access information because of where they lived. And I loved that. I loved how inspired they were. And even in my urban location, we are about a mile from one of the busiest and most concentrated downtowns in Kansas, and not all these kids have cars or have transportation access. So even though they live in a very urban suburb, they might not have access. And again, technology has just had a huge impact. I can demand more as a teacher. I get to track student growth better, and I get to make more efficient use of my instructional time in class. So it's been wonderful. With orchestra, it is tricky. You don't want to use it for the sake of using it. But these are a few of the things that I have done in my classes. I do critical listening and viewing assignments, which then work really well as writing prompts. The students have done their own composition software, so they get to play with orchestrating their own music, and they get immediate feedback. What does it sound like? They get to play with it. It's very user intuitive, so it is awesome. I have kids coming up, Ms. Cook, can we play this in class? Okay, it's just great whenever they get to hear their product, and that's been really fun. Probably what I use the most is playing tests via Google Classroom. I have the students take videos of themselves, and it allows me to give feedback almost like a private lesson. What could take 2 to 3 days of class to hear all 65 kids in my top group. If they just submit a video, I can do that in my evenings, and then it saves my instructional time. So I still have a lot of work to do. I would like to find positive and effective ways to use technology, but by nature of my subject, it is difficult. I would like to become more savvy with video tools, video programs, finding ways to isolate what I see in a video and give feedback to that rather than a minute mark with like a second. And how to guide independent critical thinking and comparing. These are all things that I think I am limiting myself with because of my knowledge of technology. So these are a few things about me and my goals, and I have really enjoyed looking at the other videos, and I look forward to learning with all of you. Thank you.